R.I.P. to my baby. I thought I'd never see the day this happened, but it happened. Dennis here back with another video. Y'all already know what the lick read. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and hit that notification button. Hey, you right there, you. Watch the videos to the end. This is not some video. This is a real video. This is me saying farewell to one of my family. This is like a family member here, as far as in my my film family. This is a family member here. This is not a toy. This is more than just a camera. This is of sentimental value here. So yesterday, I'm in the middle of filming. My Panasonic Lumix G7 happens to not turn on anymore. So I did a little bit of troubleshooting, still wouldn't shut on. So I got the battery. Now this battery is fully charged. So we lost a member of my film family, let's just say. We lost my baby today, my Panasonic Lumix G7. Now, this has sentimental value because we made a lot of money together. And I put a post on my Facebook making the announcement that we would have to either get rid of it or we're gonna have to salvage this thing. Now, obviously it can be prepared, but who knows how much this will cost. Based off a lot of research I've done, it costs a little bit of money to get these repaired, so you might as well buy a new one all over again. I've seen some similar videos. Same camera, Panasonic Lumix G7, has a somewhat of a life expectancy. I think most cameras and any electronics do have shelf life, from flat screen TVs to phones, computers, gimbals, you name it. Speaking of gimbals, my gimbal actually went out too. You know, I have a Mazda Aircross 1. I know it's the older version. I think since then, I think they got the Aircross 3. I know they got the Aircross 2, but I do have the Mazda Aircross 1. So I got a lot of old equipment. I got an old MacBook Pro. I got an old camera. And this camera I thought would last the test of time. I had this camera for about 5 or 6 years. So I actually got my run out of it. I really hate to see this thing go. It's been times where, you know, I always say out with the old, in with the new. And it seems like one thing after the next, I'm losing equipment. I'm losing my camera equipment. But fortunately, I still have a camera for sure. Now, right now I'm working with the Panasonic GH4. Panasonic GH4 is kind of one of my favorites, so it's been pretty good to me. Eventually, you know, these times will come where I have to upgrade my film equipment, and that's what I'm gonna do over time. But as of right now, I don't think I really need to. Let me tell you a little bit about this camera. Now, a lot of y'all know about this camera. Y'all know the specs and everything, and this is not what I'm here to talk about. So this is my take on Panasonic cameras in general. So when I started my film journey, I started with the Canon T3i. So I've always been team Canon. I still love Canon cameras to this day. When I started upgrading cameras and everything like that, I decided that I wanted to try a new brand. So I decided that I would go with Panasonic. So it either came down to Panasonic or Sony. Now, I feel a lot of great things about Sony as well. Probably be my next camera. I think I'm gonna try Sony this time. But I am team Panasonic. I still love Canon. Yeah, so I'm gonna tell y'all a little story about this little bundle of joy right here. When I got this Canon G7, it came at the perfect time, okay? One of my cameras had, unfortunately went out. I had a Canon 60D at the time. It went out on me, or at least I thought it did, but you know, just like any other camera, when they get old, the performance is not quite the same anymore, and it was about that time. So around this time, this camera came at the right time. I bought this camera on eBay, won it in an auction. I think I paid a little too much for it when I think about it, but I had to have this camera, and at the time, I was actually settling for another camera because I wanted something a little more upper echelon. I didn't want to pay the ticket at the time because it was pretty expensive and I needed a camera right away. So I ended up getting this bad boy right here. I don't want to say by mistake, but I was trying to save a pretty penny. And if you ever need a camera for video shoots, vlogging, the pictures is pretty well too if you get the right lens and everything like that. You know, obviously is a micro four thirds lens. That was my first time even using some lenses such as all the micro four thirds lens. And it turned out pretty well. So for the most, I hate to see this camera go. Like, it was just weird how it cut off like abruptly, because I usually have this camera just sitting on the tripod or sitting off to the side, no bumps or anything like that, but it just cut off without warning, and I couldn't understand why. So at first I thought it was the batteries, then I thought it was something on the inside of it, and I tried everything. I did everything you could possibly do to troubleshoot it, and nothing happened. So I decided to go on YouTube, and I ran across a couple videos, and it's a lot of people that actually prefer this type of camera. This one in particular. I even knew somebody that went and bought this camera over again. I seen a video just yesterday. He's a Panasonic guy as well, so he got something a little more upper echelon, something with a high frame camera. And still, even with that, he still loves the Panasonic G7. I think he does photography, and I know he does a lot of vlogging. He had a similar situation before, except this guy was on a job in the middle of an important client, and the camera shuts off in the middle of a job. Now, thankfully enough for me, I was just so happens to be in the comfy confines of my office, and you know, we do a lot of vlogging and everything like that. Obviously, I'm getting ready to set up multicam, and lo and behold, unbeknownst to me, and it's funny because I think the way God works, I know how we can tie God into a camera, but this is how I can really tie this in, because we put God in everything we do, and we put God first in everything we do. So been telling my wife and just saying just out loud that, you know, it's time for a change, and out with the old and in with the new. I've been cleaning out my hard drives, organized, and just building for the next, you know, the next set of content that I will be putting together. And I am on content overload, so you know, some things just have to go, and I got a lot of things in the archives that I just don't want to hold on to anymore. And so, with that said, my gimbal goes out first. Now my camera is gone out. So now it's like I got two products that's equally worthless right now to me. And I've been saying it's time for an upgrade. And so, unfortunately, you know, one of my favorite cameras just has to go, because this camera, like I said, has been really good to me. And this is my first camera. When I started doing 4K footage, this was my first camera when it comes to, you know, converting over from 1080p to 4K. And then eventually I went on to more high frame cameras, you know, to get that ultra slow motion and all that cool stuff. This time around won't be no different. These things tend to happen on your film journey. If you're a videographer, a photographer, or whatever, you know, we like to preserve our equipment as much as we can. We like to get the most out of our equipment as much as we can. I could truly say that, you know what, even though it's like, but I'm at peace with it. Now, am I gonna buy this camera again just to replace it, or even get it repaired? Who knows? I don't know what the future holds, but I know one thing for sure. I'm definitely not gonna buy this camera again, because we do not stay in the same place. We don't look backwards, we look forward. And with that being said, I just want to say shouts out to Panasonic for making such a swell camera. This is great for vlogging. This is not a startup camera, but nowadays you can though. I mean, I always used to say this, like every time I would get this question, you know, people would often ask me what camera to start off with. And I would often say, if you want to start off with anything, get you a T3i, a T4i, a T5i, or you get the point. Nowadays, I think they up to like the T6i or something like that. And it comes with a lot of cool specs, but I always say start off with the Canon. You know, shouts out to Canon. But now the way the price point is on these cameras right now could range anywhere between, I've seen something as cheap as $300 and up. And with that being said, that's a pretty good price range for a camera if you're starting off. So I would definitely recommend this camera for sure. Anything else, I would definitely try to get it brand new, or at least close to new. Because like I said, I got this, it was pretty much practically brand new when I won this on an auction. When I won this eBay auction, it was practically brand new. So, and it lasted me almost 7 years. So you can't beat that. I had this camera a long time. I got my money's worth and then some. What can I say? You know, this is a good camera. I put it on the marketplace, you know, for some people that, you know, to salvage parts or anything like that, because these cameras are very common for parts, and you can definitely repair these cameras for sure if you know how to do it. This is a definite pickup. I myself, I don't really have the time or want to put the time and effort into breaking this thing down and trying to do this and that. That is not one of my strong points for sure. I'm pretty sure I can do it, but I really don't have the patience for this. So I guess I can hold on to it for the time being until somebody comes along and possibly want to buy it for parts. If not, one day I would eventually probably get it fixed if it's worth getting fixed, and maybe give it to my daughter or something. But as of right now, I'm working with one camera left. I'm down to one camera and no gimbal, but I'll be getting me another gimbal and definitely gonna get me another camera for sure, because this thing made me realize that, you know, everything is temporary. You know, when one door closes, another one opens. So this kind of, like, not to say broke my spirit, but I definitely asked for something. This was definitely a sign for sure. I was telling my wife this morning I couldn't get this camera off my mind for some reason. And it's crazy that may sound. I know some of y'all say, oh man, a freaking camera. But if you know, you know. If you got something of sentimental value, a lot of my creatives out there definitely understand. A lot of my videographers, photographers, y'all definitely understand when you lose equipment. And we don't like to lose equipment because equipment is not cheap. You know, just think about, I've lost lenses, I've broken lenses, other people broke lenses of mine. Even some cameras got broke before over the time frame, and nothing could really compare to this one in particular, because this was like the first game changer. I might even just, if I don't get rid of this camera, I might just frame it and put it up in the, you know, just for old time's sake, because this camera has been good to me, I would say. So I just wanted to make a little video and give my camera the proper send off. It is what it is. So I just want y'all to know that anything I get, any piece of equipment I get, I always pride myself on working with what I have. We can all say we want this and that, but I'm the type of person, I like to work with what I have, and I appreciate everything I have. If you knew my journey, then you'll understand why. You know, I started off with an iPhone 4S my wife got me for Christmas. Even bought the little makeshift lenses just to start my journey, because I never really had the confidence to even shoot music videos. I mean, I always did like little documentaries here and there with a handy cam and this and that. So a part of this journey, to come to this and everything else I have, it's been nothing short of a blessing, and I'm definitely humbled by everything and appreciative. And little things like this and a lot of other things I had along the way just reminds me of how far I've came. Like I said, I'm self-taught. Everything I learned based off circumstances, and because I really didn't have a go-to, I was always encouraged to do these kind of things. You know, my primary background always been music, and anything pertaining to music business, behind the scenes, and down to just from an artist to the executive part of the part of everything. So all aspects of music business period is pretty much my primary background. That's really my forte. And this right here is an actual passion. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't turn into passion. This was actually destiny. I don't want to say too much because that's a whole nother journey. I actually elaborate on this on some upcoming projects, and I tell you all about it. If you follow us on this YouTube channel, you definitely know what I mean. So you know how we do it. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification button. And as always, keep God first, stay sucker free, and by all means get to the money. Peace and love, stay healthy, and I'm out of here. And that's that.